Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at the big ideas for section 8.5. Now there's not a whole lot to this is a pretty short lesson, but there's two things that we need to know as far as the definition of a type 1 error and a type 2 error goes. So let's take a look at these definitions. For a type 1 error, this is when the null hypothesis is true, but we make the decision to reject it. So if the null hypothesis is true and we reject it, we've made a mistake. We've made an error. And what kind of error is that? Well, it's called a type 1 error. Now, what about a type 2 error? What is that? Well, a type 2 error is when the null hypothesis is false, but we fail to reject it. So it's false, and we should not um, we should be rejecting it, but we end up failing to reject it. So a type 2 error is when the null hypothesis is false, but we fail to reject it. Now there's one more thing that we want to talk about when it comes to a type 1 error, and that would be the probability of making a type 1 error. Well, the only time you can make a type 1 error is when you end up rejecting the null hypothesis. So the only time that we reject the null hypothesis is if our p-value is less than our level of significance, alpha. So if the null hypothesis is true and we end up rejecting it, what is the probability of this happening? Well, the probability of this happening would be equal to alpha, our level of significance. So we need to know this. The probability of making a type 1 error is equal to alpha. So knowing the definition of both of these and knowing that the probability of making a type 1 error is equal to alpha are the big ideas for this particular lesson. Hopefully this helps you understand a little bit better, and hopefully you have a great day.